Numbers just speak for themselves, or is there some kind of other motive for the filing at this time, Joey?
No correlation at all, Mike. You kidding? I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
100 million each fight.
I would think close to $1 billion.
He probably is, but he spends like a mother. He probably has like a couple $100 million in jewelry.
Floyd writes on his Instagram, "Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, especially when it comes to the media in this country."
Floyd Mayweather, once boasting over $1.2 billion in career earnings, is now reportedly facing financial ruin, according to CNN. Despite his lavish lifestyle, private jets, mansions, and luxury watches, insiders say reckless spending, failed businesses, and legal fees have drained his fortune. Sources claim he's quietly selling off assets to pay debts, with some suggesting a potential bankruptcy filing may be on the horizon for the boxing icon.
Everything ends up this way. Well, everything does end up this way because people are surrounded by other people who make 10%, 20%, 5% on what the other guy brings home. So people are incentivized to push people to keep scaling and keep going and all eat when you eat. But I think it's very important for people to stand up and say, you know what? I don't think this thing needs to be that big. I don't think the valuation needs to get here.
Floyd Mayweather once stood at the peak of sports wealth, reportedly earning over $1.2 billion through prize fights, endorsements, and public appearances. But the fortune that flowed in was quickly spent. Rather than investing or building long-term financial security, Mayweather lived as if the money would never run out. His days were filled with extravagant spending, from gold-plated private jets to fleets of exotic supercars. Obsessed with maintaining the image of being the richest and flashiest in sports, he sacrificed financial discipline. Ironically, the very lifestyle that earned him the nickname Money now threatens to leave him teetering on the edge of financial ruin.
He's up there, bro. He's probably got to be at least 400 million. I mean, some of the purses from his fights are like 100 million each fight.
I would think close to $1 billion.
He probably is, but he spends like a. He probably has like a couple $100 million in jewelry. Have you seen like videos of his jewelry?
Yeah, some crazy. Let me see. Let me see what his net worth is. Mayweather net worth.
Them Googles be lying though. Huh?
They be lying? You think?
I think so. It's probably not accurate. I mean,
let's see what they say. Exactly what you said. It says an estimated $450 million.
Yeah.
Richest boxer in the world. It's a lot of money.
Mayweather made headlines not only for his flawless boxing record, but also for the staggering payouts tied to his fights. His clash with Manny Pacquiao reportedly earned him over $250 million, with his exhibition against Conor McGregor bringing in a similar fortune. Often hailed as the highest-paid athlete alive, Mayweather didn't use his earnings to build lasting wealth. Instead, he fueled a life of excess. Lavish parties, private jets for his entourage, and million-dollar gambling sprees became a routine part of his extravagant lifestyle.
Floyd Mayweather, the highest paid athlete, not the highest paid boxer, the highest paid athlete in the world. I had the opportunity and pleasure to be around him for many years. I was his personal shopper. I was a personal friend of his family. One of my greatest memories of being just lucky enough to even be around that environment was watching him train. Watching Floyd Mayweather train is a masterclass in discipline. It is a masterclass in work ethic. It is a masterclass in this is how you execute and get stuff done. Every rep, he hits it hard. There's not one lazy rep. He does everything at such a high frequency, so elevated. I'm like, goodness gracious, watching this man train, it's like, that's how I want to train for life. I've been to the club with Floyd where we leave in the club 3, 4 in the morning and he's still going to hit his 6 miles. He'll have all the cars follow him and he's running down the Las Vegas Strip, down back streets.
Floyd Mayweather's financial troubles extend beyond reckless spending, with his name repeatedly linked to legal controversies and dubious business ventures. In 2022, he was involved in a class action lawsuit over a cryptocurrency scheme many labeled a pump and dump. Though the case was dismissed, it underscored his tendency to dive into hype-driven investments without proper scrutiny. Matters worsened in 2024 when he faced another lawsuit, this time for allegedly instructing his bodyguard to assault a man, with the victim seeking over $3 million in damages. These legal battles further reveal a pattern of volatile and ill-considered financial and personal decisions.
Explain all that. How did that happen? Well, things happen. I had 3 children with a young lady. We wasn't seeing eye to eye. you know, wasn't seeing eye to eye. You know, she was a little upset, had a little alcohol in her system. She was a little edgy, and I told her, you know, basically I needed the keys to my truck. She was upset. She didn't want me to take the keys to the truck. So things got out of hand and blown out of, you know, they blow things up bigger than what things are really made out to be. So things happen.
But nevertheless, you had to do 2 months.
Yeah, I did 2 months for a misdemeanor, yes.
So what is it like to have everything and then not have freedom?
That's what I come to find out. Freedom is very important. Freedom is very, very important. And I'm just, you know, I'm happy to be free. I'm happy to be back, you know, in my children's life.
Joe Rogan, known for his blunt commentary, publicly criticized Floyd Mayweather's apparent neglect of tax responsibilities. He warned that no matter how wealthy someone is, ignoring the IRS leads to serious consequences, a fate many rich individuals have faced. Rogan suggested that Mayweather's flashy lifestyle could be masking deeper financial issues, noting that the pattern Floyd appears to be following is both familiar and dangerous.
That money to the IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell those.
Mike Tyson famously made hundreds of millions during his boxing peak, only to declare bankruptcy after years of excessive spending on tigers, mansions, even a gold bathtub. Now, Floyd Mayweather seems to be treading the same path. Like Tyson, he flaunts luxury cars, jewelry, and homes. But behind the flash, his financial foundation appears increasingly shaky.
This is your main man, Made Man, back at it again. And y'all know how I get down over here. We talking boxing. Now, I am fresh off watching episode 1 of the All Access of the upcoming fight between Floyd Money Mayweather and Marcos Maidana. Now, a lot of people may have gotten a lot of things from watching that episode. You know, it was real flamboyant. We've seen Floyd Mayweather tossing his money around as always, talking about the Miss Jackson situation. We've seen Marcos Maidana looking focused, more so focused on his baby and everything. So those are a lot of the minor takeaways. But my major takeaway from this whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, is I was quickly hit with a emotion of nostalgia. You know what I mean? Because seeing Floyd Mayweather with all this money and cars and clothes and hoes and yada, 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 it just kind of reminded me, there was a small segment in that episode that stated that a lot of fighters believe in their immortality. You know what I mean? We've seen this before. So the question I ask, we have seen this movie before. Boxers traditionally going broke. You know, they start off well, so flamboyant, with all this money and all these cars, and they have businesses they invest in. There's something special, you know, at least in their minds they are. And then after either retirement or near retirement or after the fight game has left them, traditionally boxers go broke, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying this is going to happen to Floyd Mayweather, but I swear on everything, man, I hope it doesn't happen to Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather is going to go down in the halls of history, ladies and gentlemen, as possibly top 3 to top 5 to top 10 of all-time greats. I mean, depending on how you view Floyd Money Mayweather. But however, he is definitely the #1 boxer of my era, ladies and gentlemen, of my time on this earth of watching this sport of boxing. No one has the skill set of Floyd Money Mayweather. Carve it up, chop it up how you like. Get on the debate about his opponents, all this other crap. We can have that for another video. But this man is going to go down in history as an all-time great, without a doubt. And I understand the argument for those who want to maybe even present the argument that he's the #1 greatest of all time. I see valid points in that argument. I don't agree with that, but I see valid points in that argument. This is a great boxer. We are going to miss Floyd Money Mayweather when he leaves the sport, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact remains.
Ironically, Floyd Mayweather has often spoken about financial strategy, even referencing a buy low, sell high approach to real estate. Yet his actions rarely align with his words. While his brilliance in the ring is undisputed, his defensive skill, timing, and fight IQ secured an undefeated legacy. Success in boxing doesn't guarantee financial wisdom. Mayweather's discipline and focus as a fighter stand in stark contrast to his impulsive behavior outside the ring, where his decisions often reflect a lack of the same calculated control that defined his career.
People hate consistency when it comes to teams that you don't like and not a fan of, and they constantly win all the time. The Patriots went through the same thing. Small example. I'm gonna just take boxing for instance.
Right.
Floyd.
Yes.
Everybody loved when Floyd was winning early in his career.
Yes.
But when he kept winning, he became the villain. And then everybody paying in and tuning in to see him lose. That's it. He became
Even Floyd's own uncle, Jeff Mayweather, has voiced concern over his financial decisions. In a candid interview, Jeff admitted he no longer understands Floyd's erratic behavior, particularly his chaotic investment choices. Floyd seems to jump into business deals without a clear plan, driven more by ego than strategy. His bold real estate claims have raised skepticism among seasoned professionals aware of the market's risks.
No idea. I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily see Floyd very much, so we don't really get a chance to talk very much, and so I don't really know what's going on. I know he's doing things that, to better his life, like, buying homes and buying, different things. So, I don't know exactly what he's doing. So, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in quite some time. And I haven't heard about him talking about doing any more exhibitions. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, I don't know. But I haven't heard anything.
I know that KSI's team would be happy to make their fight with him.
Floyd Mayweather's conflict with the IRS is a serious warning sign. Federal authorities reportedly urged him to sell properties and settle his tax debts, a plea he ignored. Failing to act in such situations is financial suicide. When the IRS starts seizing assets, it reflects severe mismanagement, and Floyd's refusal to address the issue head-on only deepened the crisis.
You guys all seen the headline saying Mayweather needs money, Mayweather has problems, Mayweather needs Conor McGregor. Well, the truth couldn't be further. Let me tell you, Floyd Mayweather just posted this on his Instagram, and I know it's true because anyone who was around Floyd Mayweather back after the Pacquiao fight in 2015 saw Mayweather with the $26 million paycheck for the IRS. And this is what Floyd writes on his Instagram. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, especially when it comes to the media in this country. While everyone is counting my money and assuming the worst, these are the facts. Uncle Sam received $26 million from me in 2015. What else could they possibly want? I'm sure I would have been notified much sooner if there were any real discrepancies, right? Bottom line, everybody just wants to be part of the Money May show, including the IRS. That's fine. You can crunch numbers all day, but in the end, my empire is rock solid and intact. Now calculate that. Hashtag TMT, hashtag Floyd Mayweather, hashtag TBE.
Floyd eventually responded to the tax rumors by claiming he paid $26 million to the IRS. However, rather than clearing doubts, the announcement sparked more questions. Was that the full amount owed? And was it too late? The timing felt less like transparency and more like damage control. Critics argue the payment was a PR tactic designed to quiet mounting speculation about his finances.
By showing on Instagram $26 million of payment he made to the IRS. By the way, nothing makes your tax payment look shadier than when you're just holding up cash.
Right.
That's not a good look for the IRS. But he showed his actual, 26 million. They just pay him. Like, I don't know why, he's mad at the media. It's like, oh, you guys are making things up. No, it's leaked that you asked to pay after this fight. Like, you make all this money. If I was Mayweather, not only would I pay them on time, the IRS, I'd tip them. I'd be like, hey, here's what I owe you. Here's a little bit. Get your woman something nice, all right? How was Christmas for your kids? Oh, you Jewish, convert just for this Christmas.
Despite mounting lawsuits and financial red flags, Mayweather recently claimed he invested $42 million of his own money into 62 Manhattan buildings. He emphasized having no outside partners, but critics questioned the claim's credibility. Given his ongoing financial troubles, the timing and scale of the investment appear highly exaggerated and difficult to verify.
$2 million. This substantial investment was made
estate firm, Vada Properties, and is intended to expand his portfolio in New York City real estate market. Mayweather has expressed that this purchase holds significant personal meaning, reflecting his humble beginnings and desire to provide affordable housing options. He stated, growing up, I used to dream about owning just one home by myself. When you work hard, you can achieve anything. However, it's important to note that while Mayweather has announced this acquisition, some reports suggest that property records do not yet confirm the transfer of ownership. Experts speculate that he may have acquired a minority stake with options for future expansion.
Rather than inspiring confidence, Mayweather's bold investment claims have only fueled greater skepticism. If accurate, they point to reckless overextension. His obsession with luxury, cars, designer watches, gold chains has become his most damaging trait. Insiders say he continues to spend more than he earns, month after month, creating an unsustainable lifestyle. The numbers simply don't add up. And when each extravagant purchase brings hefty tax bills, his already precarious financial situation becomes even more dire.
Mayweather is about to pay $2 billion to purchase a sports team and may never have to pay taxes again. The tax code offers these super wealthy so many methods to erase their income through deductions, and none is better than purchasing a sports team. Buying a sports team is like buying a unicorn real estate property. The value is always going to go up, the owner is going to make money, but on their tax return, they're going to use a strategy to report that they're losing money. See, the owner is actually allowed to write off the entire cost of the sports team against future income. This will allow Floyd to pay less in taxes. It's called amortization, which is very similar to depreciation. But if Floyd ever decides to sell the team, then the taxes will be owed. Who cares then? Because the taxes he was supposed to pay during those years, he's going to take that money, reinvest it for personal profits. See you, Floyd. Hit your boy up if you need help with taxes. My name is Duke, and I make taxes very easy to understand. Give me a follow to stay educated.
Nothing highlights Floyd Mayweather's obsession with spectacle more than his recent trip to Mexico in an armored tank. While most people opt for luxury SUVs or private jets, Mayweather took it to an absurd extreme. It was less about practicality and more about drawing attention. While these stunts earn him viral moments, they also showcase a man completely disconnected from financial reality.
You got Floyd Mayweather, like...
Well, I didn't say kidnapped, but you know, you got your passport taken. You can't come and leave when you want to go, but he ain't in jail, so
okay.
He's out at a 6-star hotel being Floyd, so I guess it ain't that bad, but we'll see. We're going to watch and see like everybody else.
That's crazy. I mean, when you think of Money Mayweather, you thinking like Floyd may have like $1 billion or something.
He did. He made $1 billion plus. Floyd made a lot of money. And I don't really know Floyd's business, so I'm not going to speak on Floyd's business. But Floyd's very, as all the world knows, he's money made, very flashy. Look, man, you know, we both made some real money, but you know, you start burning through, you make $2-3 million a year, you burning through $100,000 a month. You ain't really got that much money.
Shit, he probably spending way more than that.
No, I'm talking regular dudes. We
that's what you're
say we made $3 million, we burning through $100,000 a month. We really don't got no paper like that saved
that's
up.
A fact.
So even if he's making $100 million, if he's burning through $5, $6, $7 million a month, you still got taxes, you still got responsibilities. So I don't know nobody's bag, but you know, me and you, we real. We never count nobody's paper. So
not at
I
all.
hope he got $10 billion. And I hope he get out of his problem.
That's a fact, because you would figure he should be able to just cash him out. Like whatever the tab is, you know, he should be able to wire that.
Yeah, I think he could do that with no problem. I think he got all the money in the world. I think they may not want it.
Mayweather's watch collection, valued in the millions, is another example of his compulsive need to flaunt wealth. His social media is filled with posts showcasing rows of diamond-studded timepieces, each more extravagant than the last. While fans may admire the luxury, financial experts see waste. These watches depreciate the moment they're purchased rather than appreciating in value.
I need you guys to watch me talk about my watches. Right here, I got 3 cases, and they're all full of watches. So when I travel, I like to take, you know, if I'm going for 45 days, I like to take 45 watches with me. I like to have options. So everybody's always asking me, what's your favorite watch? Well, one of my favorite watch brands is Ali & Co. As you can see right here, I got this a few months back, and it's one of my favorite watches. One of the best brands in the world. That's just my personal opinion. I like the brand so much, I went and bought another watch just yesterday, Avi & Co. As you can see, Avi & Co. Now, let's talk about watches, let's talk about jewelry, let's talk about a few things. I need you guys to watch me talk about my watches. So we're gonna set this to the side. Now, we wanna give the people an appetizer or something like. So we give you 2 appetizers, then we give you a main course. Just a few watches that I got while I travel. So check this out. We're gonna go here first. And of course, the company is Avi & Co. Crazy company. Now, I need you guys to come closer and check this out. So let me come to you guys.
Floyd Mayweather's business reputation is just as questionable as his spending habits. His approach has always prioritized profit over principle, leading him into ventures fraught with controversy. From questionable cryptocurrency schemes to failed promotions, his business portfolio reflects a series of impulsive, poorly thought out decisions. Financial sustainability requires structure, ethics, and planning, qualities Mayweather has consistently failed to demonstrate. As doubts mount about his financial management, so there's a fear that his empire is collapsing under its own weight. If he doesn't change his approach soon, Mayweather may not only be remembered as a legendary boxer, but also as a billionaire who lost it all.
Yeah. I think it was like a $5 or $8 million 5-fight deal or something like that. You have to check the numbers, but he turned that down to start his own promotion. And when he was with HBO, he worked out that deal to do the 24/7 where you can see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That was right around the time when reality TV was getting big.
Yeah.
So you didn't have social media then. People began to build and know Floyd off of the 24/7.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, my wife even became a boxing fan from watching the 24/7s.
Yeah.
So the timing of him becoming his own boss, which you're going to make the majority.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.